Hey, today I'm just outside the shop letting my Husky rear fender liners warm up in the sun so they're a little more flexible. Yeah, I've already had the oil-based rust proofing applied to my F-150, my 2023 Raptor. Now, I want to make sure that my truck is completely rust proofed, do the best I can, because my 2005 F-150 is just falling apart with rust. Frame was rusty and the body's just starting to come apart in the last couple of years with rust. So I'm doing everything I can with my new truck to make sure that it's gonna last as long as possible. The 2005 F-150 was rusting out around the bed, around the upper part of the wheel wells. So I'm installing these Husky fender liners, hopefully to prevent that. Now, if you haven't had your truck rust proofed, I'd recommend something like the PB Blaster Surface Shield. Apply that before putting in the fender liners. The Husky wheel well guards, that they're titled, did come with directions, and these are specific for the Raptor, so 21 and up Ford Raptor. And the directions are quite simple. They tell you a list of contents, which just come with 4 of these clips, 4 of the screws, and then 1 each left and right side, driver's side and passenger side of the guards, and then 7 steps, really. Step 8 is just repeat the other steps for the other side. So step 1 is just simply read the directions carefully and then clean the areas, make it free of debris before installing. And then, so that 2 is just kind of nonsense. So step 3 is really where you start, and you take off the mud flaps if there's any, and then loosen and take off the 7mm fasteners. There's 8 of them on each side for the fender guard and the wheel well extender, whatever you want to call it. It's a fender guard. 5 then is install the 2 of the clips into the holes in the fender, and then and that's both sides. And then simply install the guard, and it gives you a little bit of insight on how to do it. You know, make sure that the inside lip is back behind the shock. So that is the main thing that it's saying. So yeah, tuck the bottom side of the lower part of the wheel well liner behind the metal lip of the truck's fender, and then tuck the upper part and install the 2 screws D provided, and then use a 9 and 10, then use a 10mm socket. After that, reinstall the 8 fasteners that you previously took off, and that's it. Pretty easy. So again, all that's required are the hardware that came with it, 4 of the clips, 4 new bolts, 10mm head size, and then the 2 liners, 10mm socket. I'm using a 1/4" ratchet and a 1/4" socket, and then a 7mm socket. So these fasteners just run along the lip of that fender guard. So I'm going to take those off. Let's back up just a little bit here. Let's see if I can let you watch this. So they run all the way around the lip, and so that lip of that guard goes behind this. So I'm going to pull all these fasteners out so I can time lapse this for you. Okay, so that's all 7 of the bolts out. Now here's the holes for the inner fender are right here, and I don't have a lot of light, but that's one and that's the other. They're already in the inner fender of the bed. There's another hole right there, but it's these 2 outer holes which should line up with the 2 holes on this plastic liner right here and there. So the front one and then the back one here. So front one and then the back one here. And then this lip right here gets sandwiched behind this plastic, the mud guard here, the fender, and the plastic here. So that's why that screws need to be taken off so you could get behind there. I don't think you need to pull anything else off because there's clips in here that hold this to the bed, to the fender. So I'm going to install the 2 clips for this side. Grab them here. So those clips just slip over the sheet metal and into that hole. Just pop in there. Back one slips on, kind of clicks as it engages. Then it's a matter of getting the wheel well installed, like the directions said, making sure that lip is behind the shock, up and in. And I've set them in the sun. It's a warm day in August, but I've set them out in the sun so they're flexible. If you're doing this in the cold, then you probably need to warm them up. And let's see how it goes. Yeah, oh, there you go, slip behind the shock. It seems to go in there nicely. And I'm going to start at the top, I think. Let's see how this goes. Push it back. Into the lip. I think that's the way to go. Each end, so I put in the bottom lip on each end and see if I can work this guy up and behind the plastic. And these tools are for working the inner body panels, inner panels that go on the door, taking the door panels off and stuff, or interior pieces of plastic. I'm going to use that for a screwdriver to help me get into my lip here. Let's see how it goes. See if I can just run that around, get it to pop in all the way around. Be nice if it would. Be that easy. Seems to be. Stuck there for some reason. Yeah, just that easy, but this didn't go in here. That has to go in first down the bottom there, it looks like. way. Go. See if it'll tuck under any better. Oh, and it popped out on this side. Once I did that. Let's go back in. Get it to go. So I can see my clips in my holes there. That's a good thing. So that means they're close to being lined up. So I'm going to go ahead and put those clips in, put the bolts in the clips. So 10mm head size bolts that are provided. I'm going to put a little anti-seize on mine for long life and ease of removal in the future. Hopefully keep them rust free. They're a black oxide coated. Let's see. Just get behind my finger and line it up. Yep, not too bad. First one didn't do too bad. Move the clip around with my finger back behind. And my camera's in the way, so I'm going to back it up a little bit. Maybe. Trying to get that clip to line up the hole. Back one seems way off. There we go. I didn't have it all the way pushed up. Let's see if I can find it again. There we go. Okay, that wasn't too bad. I didn't have the fender pushed all the way up in the back then, or the liner pushed all the way up in the back. It lined up pretty good. Let me give you a view of that. Put my camera up. So it went just that easy. There's the first bolt. There's the second bolt. Kind of wish there was a little bit of a washer on that. Maybe I'll take them back out later and put a washer behind that. Stainless steel washer might be nice. There we go. It tightened up pretty nice. I'm not gonna just snugging them up. I'm not gonna over tighten them right yet. So it does go down further. So it's got, here's where the fender stops, and this goes down a little further to give you a little more lip here. You see that? So it keeps debris and stuff from going back in there, which is kind of nice. Any longer and it probably would have been hard to install. Any shorter and it wouldn't protect it as well, you know, so debris can go back into here, but it's covering up those slots where there's a seam here where my finger's at. You know, this is contoured here, but there's a seam there that isn't continuously welded. It's all spot welded, and then there's another seam up here in the front where I'm worried that salt can get up in. And that's what I wanted this for. And then of course up in here, up back in here where the lip is, I want to keep salt out of there. Okay, here's what I wanted to tell you on the other side, which I had covered up already. So there's a seam here, right here. See my finger? Right here, that goes all the way around on the center of the wheel well. There's that seam, there's this seam. And of course the seam up under here, but that's protected by this new liner. And then in the back, this seam. So I'm over on the right side. I don't think I showed this very well, but that seam is potentially collect and get my finger behind that, can collect a lot of salt. And then this seam too may be sealed, even though it's spot welded. It may have sealer in it or a structural adhesive to put that together. But these are definitely will collect a lot of salt. This is the front on the right side. So that's gonna be a big advantage to these liners on the back here. So once that's in place better in the back, this all fits in place a little better. Oh yeah, there we go. It's just stuck for a little bit, probably on the metal lip. Seems pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to put those 7 bolts back in, but I'm going to put a little anti-seize on each of them before I do. So here we go. I'm just going to put them in about hand tight to start with. You've got a small head on them, so it's hard to get to your fingers on it, especially with a captive washer on it. So I'm going to leave them loose until I get them all started. And just about there. Let's see if I can do this one now. I think the new fender might be in the way of this one. I think I need a little screwdriver to help me move that inner fender out of the way. Just use a I think it's right there. So that inner fender is giving me a little bit of a problem. So the new plastic fender it's in the way a little bit. So I'm going to pull it in, get that screw started. There we go. Do it, which is okay. You want that fender to be in there as far as you can get it. It'd be better if it was even deeper and it was match drilled to these holes. That would be sweet. That would really have some coverage. Okay, that's doing pretty good. Good. Oops. So those don't have to be over tightened. Again, those don't have to be over tightened. Here, let's see what show you the insert that it's going into. See if you can see this one. It's got kind of a plastic insert that it threads into. So it's probably like that all the way around because it's like that on both of the bottom ones. So that's it. Let me remove my camera from the tripod. See if I can give you a view of that all in there. That's it. And goes down doesn't hit all the way in the bottom. It's got a little bit of a space there on the bottom, so debris can move its way past and out if it needs to. Again, right here, get my finger under that, so that's pretty good. Alright, so that concludes the video. I just have to do the other side, and it's the same thing, same procedure on the other side, and that finishes this side. Now that concludes the video. If you found it helpful, let me know in the comments, and please subscribe. I look forward to your comments.